Good morning. I'm Dr. Mrs. Sunita Tiwari, and this is the third part of the lecture series for the chapter 8 Women in Development for Final Year Students. In my third section of this series, I'll be dealing with the grammar section of this chapter. So, in this chapter, we have this exercises related to passive voice. The first section here is put the following sentences into the passive voice. So here, first of all, I would like to remind all of you, or just to brush up your memory, that what is a voice? Voice of a verb tells us whether the subject of the sentence performs or receives the action. Example, a simple sentence, Ram killed a snake. So here, killed, the verb, tells us whether the subject here, that is Ram, is doing something, is performing the action or not. So here we can see that Ram killed a snake. So what is the subject doing? Subject is active. So this sentence is in active voice. And the same sentence can be reframed as a snake was killed by Ram. So here the verb here tells us that the snake has been worked upon. Here the subject is not doing anything, but it is receiving the action which is performed by the object, that is Ram. So when we convert a active sentence into passive or so on, so here we follow certain rules. Number one, first we have to identify the subject and the verb and the object. Then we put the object into subject place. When we change it into from active to passive, we do it. And just the opposite when we change from passive to active. Then we also put a suitable helping verb or an auxiliary verb with it. Third, next rule is that we change the subject into past participle of the verb while changing from active to passive. And when we change from active to passive, we also use the preposition by and so on. So here we can first of all understand the same thing happens when we change from a sentence from active to passive. The subject will become object and object will become subject. Now here the exercise that you have is you have to put the following sentences into passive voice. So here the very first sentence is, somebody must have taken it while I was out. So here the object is it. So it will be made the subject. So the sentence will be, it must have been taken by somebody while I was out. Next sentence is, you must iron this dress for tonight. You is the subject. And what is the object? This dress. So when we convert the sentence, so the object will become subject. So this dress must be ironed for tonight. The past participle form is used and for tonight. Now, next sentence is, did the noise frighten you? So here the object is you. It will become the subject, where the question form will not change. The sentence will remain in its question form. It will not become an assertive sentence. So, were you frightened by the noise? A question mark. Next sentence is, fourth is, I can assure you I will arrange everything in time. So here the object in this sentence is you. You can be assured. When we convert this into passive voice, it will become the subject. You can be assured that everything will be arranged by me. So it is understood. So we do not use it in the sentence, but it is understood. So we leave it, omit it. Fifth sentence is, the surgeon had to operate on him to find out what was wrong. So here the object is him and the subject is the surgeon. So when we change it to passive, it becomes, he had to be operated on to know what was wrong with him. Sixth sentence is, somebody will meet the visitors at the station. The answer will be, they will be met at the station. Seventh sentence is, today people can shell cities from a great distance. So here the object is cities. It will become the subject. So here, today cities can be shelled from a great distance. Next sentence is, people generally assume that money brings happiness. So here, money is the object. It will become the subject. Money is generally assumed to bring happiness. Next 9 sentences, they tell me somebody has murdered your sister in cold blood. So here, they tell me. They is subject and me is object. So me will become the subject when we change it to passive. So I am told your sister has been murdered in cold blood. Next sentence is, I should love someone to take me out to dinner. The sentence will be, me will become subject. I should love to be taken out for dinner. 11th sentence is, they gave the criminal a fair trial and sent him to prison. The criminal is the object. Now it will become the subject. So the criminal gave will become was given a fair trial and sent to prison. By them is understood. So we will not use it in the sentence. It is understood. Next sentence is, his grandfather brought him up and he got his education in Houston. So the sentence will be, he was brought up by his grandfather and got education at Houston. Next sentence, naturally one expects you to interest yourself in the job they have offered you. So here you will become subject. Naturally you are expected to be interested in the job they have offered. 14th sentence is, it must have disappointed him terribly that people told him they did not want him. He must have been terribly disappointed to be told he was not wanted. I was surprised to hear you had been robbed. Now the answer is, it surprised me to hear someone has, the sentence here is, it surprised me to hear someone had robbed you. So the answer will be, I was surprised to hear that you had been robbed. 16 sentences, we have not moved anything since they sent you away to cure. Nothing has been moved since you were sent away to be cured. Next sentence, people no longer say that anyone inhabits Mars any more than the moon. So the answer will be, the moon is no longer said to be inhabited any more than the Mars. Next sentence is, there is a new block of flats. They are building down the road. Perhaps you would like someone to introduce you to the builder. So the answer will be, a new block is being built down the road. Perhaps you would like to be introduced to the builder. Next sentence is, I have only used this pen once since the day I had it mended. Answer will be, this pen has only been used once since it was mended. Next sentence is, no one has ever taken me for an Englishman before, although someone did once speak to me as if I were an American. So the answer is, I have never been taken for an Englishman before, though I was once spoken to as if I am American. Next question is, who wrote this book? So the answer is, by whom was this book written? Next question is, post this letter. Let this letter be posted. Next is that bulldozers remove the topsoil. The topsoil is removed by bulldozers. Last sentence is they invited Tanuja to deliver speech. Tanuja was invited to deliver speech. So this is one part of exercise where we have to change it into passive voice. Next, the B section here is